Bradley Wiggins is the new world hour record holder. Yesterday he set a mark of 54.526 kilometres, just under 1.6 k's further than Alex Dowsett did in his hour record attempt just over 1 month ago.
Yeah, and to put that into perspective, that's 3.5 kilometres or 14 laps further than Jens Vogt went when he sort of reignited the fight for this prestigious hour, and he's no slouch.
No, let's take a look at some of the most interesting things then from Bradley's attempt. First up, I think, his bike. Now, Pinarello and Jaguar actually collaborated to modify the Pinarello Bolide track bike. And the first question, actually, and one that remains unanswered, is how you actually pronounce the name of said bike. So we're going to go with Pinarello Bolide.
No, Bolide.
No, it's Bolide.
Either way, the bike is reportedly 7.5% more aerodynamically efficient than the road-going bike.
The frame was actually modified to reduce clearance around the forks, which is a little bit of a surprise given a lot of aero frames are now completely doing the opposite. And also the chain line was optimised to increase mechanical performance too.
Yeah, and the gearing was also quite interesting. On the day he opted for a 58-tooth chainring with a 14-tooth cog at the back, and he turned that at around about 105 RPM. Now it sounds like an absolutely huge gear, but it's not as bad as you might think. It equates to 53 by 13 or even 50 by 12. So effectively, he could have broken the hour record on a compact chain set. Anyway, the reason for the large cogs? Well, the same as the chain line. It helps to increase and maximise the mechanical efficiency.
Yeah, now also his 3D printed titanium handlebars have caused quite a stir. Although presumably actually the reason they were printed is just because that's the most economical way of producing complex one-off shapes these days. But still, sounds kind of cool. But then also, more important than his bike, Matt?
Yeah, the sock-shoe combo. Black socks, gold shoes, interestingly with laces, but it's all about the socks. They were actually like an overshoe, but underneath.
Undershoe?
So like an undershoe oversock. But anyway, it was a sock with a little zip at the back, but optimised for length. And I actually met the UCI delegate whose task it was to actually measure the socks, and it wasn't lasty.
Zipped socks.
Zipped socks.
Take
a close look at the picture, you can just see it at the back. As might be expected from a master of the TT, Bradley got his pacing pretty much spot on. And look at the graph of lap times from Javier Disley, shows an almost completely flat line. The optimal pacing strategy.
Yeah, but he did dip a little bit towards the end, didn't he? Making me wonder whether he overcooked it fractionally at the start, perhaps.
Yeah, or maybe just cooked himself in the heat of the velodrome. Basically, his team cranked it up to over 30 degrees, but I understand that primarily the reason for that was to counteract what was quite a high pressure.
Yeah, I reckon prior to this weekend, no one would have ever considered atmospheric pressure in relation to track racing. But apparently, if Wiggins had been on a low pressure day, then he might have gone up to 900 metres further, which is pretty substantial, isn't it? And to put it another way, he was at a 13-watt deficit compared to Alex Dowsett's pressure conditions.
Which leads us on to another very interesting graph from Javier. This one showing the speed that Brad would have gone on any of the previous 20 days, factoring in the different atmospheric pressures. Looks quite unlucky, really.
Although Brad is now the hour record holder, two riders have gone further, but using equipment and positions that have now been banned. So how does Wiggins compare to Chris Boardman and to the Swiss rider, Tony Rominger?
Well, according to estimates, for Wiggins to have gone further than Tony Rominger's 1994 record of 55.291 kilometres, given the conditions that he faced on the day, he would have had to put out a pretty inhuman 470 watts. As it was, he still did 440, which is still quite impressive.
Critically though, what would Wiggins have done if he'd been allowed to use Chris Boardman's Superman position? Well, Boardman himself has told us that he thinks they're on a par performance-wise, but Javier Disley has estimated that Wiggins would still fall shy of Boardman's mark, and that's because Wiggins is simply a bigger rider, so even in a Superman position, he still wouldn't be quite as aerodynamic as Chris Boardman. So Disley reckons probably high 55 kilometres if everything went in Wiggins' favour. So, is Boardman better than Bradley Wiggins?
And a couple of other unanswered questions. Will Wiggins give it another go? And can anybody else beat his mark?
You can leave us all of your thoughts in the comment section down below this video. Now, if you'd like to see Bradley Wiggins' time trial bike up close and personal, you can find that by clicking up there. And if you want to see some of the latest time trial tech direct from the Giro d'Italia, you can find that video by clicking down there.
It's quite a damp video, that one.
Yeah, it's way down low.
Umbrella.
Oh yeah, and to subscribe to GCN, click on any one of us.
And give the video a thumbs up as well.
Yeah, lots of thumbs up, please.
Below this video, there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Ignore the thumbs down one and just press on that thumbs up one. How many do you reckon we'll get?
Dan, they're gone. Oh, I'm starting, aren't I? Sorry, yeah, I was just waiting for one of you to kick off and me to follow on. Oh, that's all right. You're filming all this. It's absolute gold.
Can't spread myself too thin.
Right with that font. It's really tiny. That's tiny. Look, you're going to hurt yourself.
I was just about to do it then.
You're like the kind of lad that will sort of like reads in the dark.
Right.
You just regret it. Well done.
Cheers.